Hi, this is my second time trying to film this video. I just rewatched the last one and I feel like it was way too emotional and I kind of bounced around and I missed a lot of my points, so I'm retrying. So if you know me personally, I am mixed. Um, it's not extremely apparent based off of my features, my skin, my hair when it's straight like this. And honestly, there's been about one time where I've ever really experienced any sort of discrimination. However, I know many people who have, but I will say I have privilege because it's not super evident that I am African American. Um, and let me explain really fast. So the first thing I want to explain in this video is white privilege. So white privilege exists. Let's not act like it doesn't, okay? It's very clear. If you still choose to ignore it, I can't help you. But basically, all it's saying is that yes, you may have your struggles. Yes, you may go through hard times and your trials and tribulations, but the color of your skin will never really be a problem for you, that you'll never be discriminated against from it. However, okay, I'm not going to acknowledge the fact that people don't use reverse racism, which let's just straight out put it, it's not reverse racism, it's flat out racism, and it's causing further segregation. So let's not put down one race or the other, okay, because that's defeating the whole purpose right there. I understand, obviously, that there's been a long history behind it, but you can't judge a person just based off of the color of their skin, which is the next thing I'm about to get into, which is the Black Lives Matter movement. So let's break this down really fast as well. So basically what the Black Lives Matter movement is, it's not saying all lives don't matter. It's saying that all lives can't possibly matter until Black lives matter and they're treated equally and not discriminated against or segregated or put down because of the color of their skin and the fact that their ancestors just so happen to be closer to the equator than yours and therefore resulted in darker skin and curlier hair. Because at the end of the day, there you go. That's why we look different than the other. There's really no biological difference except that one race happens to have more melatonin, what the hell am I saying? Melanin in their skin than the other. Okay, that's what it comes down to. And so to break it down further, for those of you who still don't understand, basically what it's saying is Johnny trips and cuts his knee. Okay, I'm using this example that my friend taught me. I thought it was very smart of him that he found. Johnny trips and cuts his knee open and he needs help. He needs someone to go grab him a band-aid and wash it off for him because he's hurt and he's suffering. But Sally's saying over here with her perfectly non-cut knee, okay, and she's saying here, why don't I get the same attention? Why aren't they giving me attention? I'm just as much of a person as Johnny over here. Where's my attention? And it's not that Sally, or whatever the hell I named her, doesn't matter. It means that Johnny cut his knee right now, so we need to focus on Johnny because he's hurt and suffering. So let's give Johnny the attention he needs so he can be all fixed and healed, and him and Sally can go skip along with their uncut knees, okay? It's a stupid example, kind of. It's smart. It's a really good metaphor, but it's what it is. It's basically all we're saying is that we want equal treatment, equal rights, and that we want to be treated equally as individuals, and we aren't any less than you, and our biological makeup is the same as you. And in the Declaration of Independence, it says all men are created equal. So there you go. That's basically the problem, is that there's history of racism and our country is corrupt and we need to heal it and come together as one. So that's what the Black Lives Matter movement really is all about. I believe, obviously, it's horrible what's going on. It's hurtful. Um, I've seen a lot of hate from both sides, and it bothers me. I mentioned in the last video, I got really emotional while saying it though. I almost started crying. Um, like I said at the beginning, I am mixed. I am half Italian and half African American, although my father's mother has some other mixtures in there as well, such as Irish, and for a long time we believed Cherokee Native American. But yeah, so anyways, long story short, I see and hear a lot from both sides, being mixed. I have family and friends who believe that I'm posting too much and that's not really as big of a deal as I'm making out to be or others are making out to be. And I have other friends and family on the other end who think I'm not posting enough and that I should be protesting, which I can't, or would, trust me, or think that I should stop posting and other things because it's distracting and taking attention away. And this isn't targeted at anyone in particular. I've had several people talk to me about this issue, and it hurts from both sides because it's like, hey, I am both, and I feel like people tend to pick and choose which I am based on what's convenient for them at that moment, and I'm both, and I try to remind that to people a lot. I've had people be like, oh, well, it's those African Americans. I'm like, hey, remember I am African American. And I've had other people be like, oh, white people are so privileged, whatever else, blah, blah, whatever. You're whitewashed, you're not black enough. And all those things hurt. I'm a 15-year-old girl, okay? I can only take so much, and my feelings do get hurt, and I do get very emotional. So just try to keep that in mind if you're a friend, a family of mine, and you know you've said some things to me. Just be mindful, because I love both my parents, and I love who I am as a person. Growing up, I never really recognized the significance of my heritage on either side. I never recognized the fact, I knew I was black, never recognized the fact of everything that went on. I knew I was Italian, never really recognized the history behind that either, which there is a long history behind that as well. And so I never saw color. I knew I was all of those things. I never looked at my skin and thought, hey, I'm really different than you. I just played with the other kids on the playground. So just be mindful that I am both, like I am saying. And it's never really been something that I've put much thought into until about 7th grade. There was an incident where someone had used the N-word against me because they knew I disliked it and they knew I was black. And I really didn't understand it. I told my mom and she was furious about it, but I didn't really get it. But then eventually I did get it. And I never used to say it before. I don't really use it at all either. I don't believe I have any place to use it really because I've grown up in a predominantly white area, and it's almost as if I don't feel like it's my word. I know I am black, but I don't feel like it's my word to be using, and I feel like it encourages the use of it for other people as well. So I just choose not to say it. If you're black and you choose to say it, respect. That's your decision. I'll I'll just put some pictures about right here. I'll cut the video and I'll show you the meaning behind it and why people use it today if you still don't understand, because I've had a lot of people ask me, well, why do black people get to say it and I don't? So here's why.
If you really are curious as to why you can't say the word, I encourage you to read this. I only made it about 5 seconds, so please read it.
Okay, if you chose to read that, great, thank you so much, and I respect you for choosing to. But yeah, so that's a lot of things that bother me. This is always the part where I've been trying to figure out what I want to say. So my point of this video is that we as a country obviously have an issue, whether you've experienced it or not, there's fundamental issues with our country, and it's corrupt, and there's still a lot of racist people out there. I watched a video, I think it was last night, with my friend about Caitlin Bennett talking on the George Floyd situation, and she was saying, I don't understand why we're choosing this man to base everything off of. And it's really not. It's much larger than just George Floyd. That was just kind of like the final straw where people were like, okay, enough of this. It's about the hundreds or thousands of people who have died in the past at the hands of the very people who are supposed to protect us in our country. And I know a lot of people's arguments is you don't see the full video. There have been actually a lot of videos where you do see the full videos. And it's for things usually that could be handled way easier, that a lot of white men and women have been able to get out of a lot easier than black men and women. And it's just really horrific, and for stupid issues, for real. We have enough people dying right now with the whole COVID situation as it is. There's 100,000 people in our country who have died alone, and on top of it now, there's more police brutality and more people just getting hurt and just hate in our country, which we never need, but we especially don't need right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and it's just a lot. So we really need to change our ways, very clearly, very evidently, and I think it's great that we're doing it right now. I have had a lot of people also say to me, like, why are you posting during this time? Why are you on vacation during this time? I was blessed enough to go to California last week and the week before. And so I'm gonna post about it. I'm gonna keep living my life, okay? And my point is not to drown out all the rest of the noise that's going on, obviously, because I am a part of it, whether people choose to believe or not. And I've been posting since before George Floyd, since 7th grade really, is when I really got into it, and I was really posting a lot about it, because I believe that the color of a person's skin does not determine the person they are. I believe that someone's gender, sexuality, religion, whatever else, does not determine the type of person they are. And I know some people say not to lump all those together, which I'm not trying to do. I'm not trying to take attention away from one or the other. What I'm saying is that those do not make up who a person is, and that's not what we should be judging someone off of. We should not be judging a person before we actually get to know them. That's a strong belief that I've always had. And because you don't know a person's full story, you don't know who a person really is, so get to know them before you pass a judgment on them based off of looks, based off of what you've heard, rumors, whatever. Get to know a person. That's been a big thing for me a lot, my whole life. And so basically my point is that a person's heart, a person's intentions, that's what we should be judging someone off of. We should be judging people based off of evidence, factual evidence, not just because we assume because of the color of their skin that they're a criminal. That doesn't make someone a criminal, okay? That doesn't make someone illegal. It has nothing to do with any of that, okay? Just flat out. And it's completely unnecessary to kill someone over it. I'm sorry. It just blows my mind, to be honest, but that has to do with how I was raised. I've never seen color, never seen race. I've never thought less of someone because of that. So thank you, Mom and Dad. But anyways, my point of this whole video is that we just need to spread love and spread the message and do as much as we can. If you aren't allowed to protest, that's fine. Also, another thing, protesters and rioters typically are separate, and I'm not going to get into that because I know that's going to cause a lot of controversy, just like political beliefs, because politics, religion have nothing to do with this situation. If you'd like to see any of my beliefs on that, please go on my Instagram and feel free to go through my activism highlights reel and you can DM me about that if you have anything to say on that issue, or anything that I talk about there. And same thing with this video, I'm turning comments off because I don't want to hear it, really, unless you really feel the need to talk to me about it, which you can DM me on that and we'll have a long conversation about that. I have no problem doing that. I was in speech and debate and I have no problem talking to people or debating my opinion. So, anyways, yeah, that's my point of this whole video, and I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, that's what I have to say. So, thanks for listening.